Halifax on a momentous night in 1954, and supporters are on their way to Bradford to join the largest crowd ever to watch a Rugby League Cup final. An estimated 120,000 packed into Odsal that night to watch Halifax take on Warrington in a replayed match following a 4-4 draw at Wembley. Among the starting lineup, standoff Ken Dean, one of the few men to play that night who's still alive.
I worked till lunch. Then it was a case of going home and having a shower and a sandwich, I said, and dressed and back into town for, I think it was about 5 o'clock. The coach was picking you up, you see. Well, the official figure were 102,000, so they said. Police said there were at least 120, they thought. But there were that many trying to get in, they knocked a big gate down, you know. And they just, quite thousands, walked in. When you got to the steps, it was unbelievable. It just took your breath away. So all the way down, you were just looking and you couldn't get over the amount of people that were there. It was professional, but the money you got paid didn't keep you in the life you wanted to lead. You needed a job to boost it up, you see, because it was £5 to lose. I think it was 25 to win. Unfortunately, we lost. We went for the wage on the following Tuesday when we were training. The secretary said, they've doubled your wage because it was such a good gate. And, instead of £5, we got £10. It was exciting, mainly from the score alone. You never knew you were going to lose until the last 5 minutes of the game, more or less. We come off with long faces. It seemed that every time we got near to winning the cup, we blew it. This is one memento I have left of the 54 final at Wembley, and it's the badge. It's only been used in that match and the replay match at Odsal. I treasure this. It's the one piece of article that reminds me of my playing days.
Abide With Me, the traditional rugby league song, and one of the highlights of the Wembley experience for 100,000 people. And how fitting that the 50th final should feature Wigan, because here at Central Park is where the Wembley story really began for rugby league. This is the very heart of rugby league land, and Wigan is one of the best known teams in the country. But back in 1929, London had never heard of Wigan, so taking the Challenge Cup final down to Wembley was a very big gamble. Sid Abrahams, you were there on the big day in 1929. What kind of day was it for you?
From a player's point of view, well, it was really something we all felt up in the clouds. It was the first time a rugby league club had been to Wembley. It was the first match to be played at Wembley. We were all looking forward to it. The only disappointing thing was the crowd. There was only 42,000, I think, there that day. Of course it was excusable because it was the first match. But the weather was grand, and we had a great reputation, and it was a matter of just going on the field and beating Dewsbury. That was the way the public out of Wigan and Dewsbury. Wigan was expected to win, and Dewsbury wasn't.
What kind of game was it? Can you remember much about
it?
Yeah,
it was a good game, but it wasn't as good as what it could have been, because I think one or two of the Wigan players suffered from nerves. I think one or two of them did, although they were internationals. I think they suffered a little bit. But on the whole, it was a good game, and we didn't walk over them, as people expected. We just got a little victory, which was as good as a big one to us.
Now, come on, you hold a very special place as far as Wembley is concerned, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Well, after about 12 minutes, Jim Sullivan, our captain, playing full-back, he kicked a penalty goal. That put us in the lead 2-0. 3 or 4 minutes later, round about 3:15, we had a scrum just inside the Wigan half on the centre line. And Arthur Binks passed the ball to me. Arthur Binks was the scrum half. I was playing stand-up. He passed the ball out to me. And I was always taught at Wigan, if there was no one in front of you, keep going. So there was no one in front of me, so I kept going. And I found, to my surprise, there was a big gap. So I kept going. And I was taught also at Wigan by the coaching staff, if you broke through, to make to the right-hand side, at the left-hand side, wherever you was, so that you get the fast player in that particular position. The fastest player on my right-hand side was Louis Brown on the right wing, New Zealander. I made my way to him. I expected to give him the ball when I was challenged, but nobody challenged me. And I said, it was about 65 yards around with the ball, and nobody put their hand on me. And Louis Brown was running alongside of me. Come on, Sid, there's nobody with you. And I just dropped over the line.
The first try ever scored at Wembley Stadium?
Rugby League Cup, yes. Yeah.
Special moment for you?
Yes, but I never thought about it till I got back to my position in our own half for the kick-off. And two of the Welsh lads that was playing, Wigan said, good lad said, you know that's the first try. I said, have you been scored at Wembley? I says, no, I didn't know. He said, well, that's the first try on word lad, that it's a Wigan lad that scored it. So that was the first time I thought about it.
When Henry Coates walked down Wembley this year, what did you think? Did it all come back to you? Did the memories come back?
Yes, I wished I could have been walking alongside him. And then when they got Wembley and Wigan and Dewsbury, but unfortunately, for me, I didn't make it. Of course, I understood the position. Each club was represented that had been to Wembley, and Dewsbury had only been to Wembley once, so it was natural that they should invite Henry Coates.
Did you feel...
I was very glad for him.
What about Billy Boston? What do you think of him?
Oh, he was a great wingman, was Billy. I don't think I've seen one finer myself. Of course, there are players that can compare with him, but they're different styles. See, we've just had a player at Wigan just gone back, Ferguson. But he's a different style altogether, Boston. Boston used to go through as if we were knocking a house down.
Well, from the first final in 1929 to 50 finals later in 1985, and Graham West, the Wigan captain. Graham, as a New Zealander, what does the Wembley experience mean for you?
Well, to me, it's the biggest rugby league occasion in the world. To go down and play in front of 100,000 people is something that nobody would ever believe or dream of in New Zealand. I think the most I've ever played in front of in New Zealand is something like 20,000 people.
The experience of the day, though, is what everybody talks about. Now, you've witnessed losing and, of course, winning. What's it like losing at Wembley?
Well, it's got to be the worst feeling in the world. You go there and there's so many people there. We had so many good Wigan supporters there, and we were going to try and win for them. But the day Widnes just played a lot better than us on the day, and we weren't good enough. But at the end of it, the feeling is terrible.
How do you rate this year's final as a game, just as a one-off game?
Well, I think everything went right for us. We had some very good backs, and we planned to get the ball to them. And when we did get the ball to them, they won us the game. And it couldn't have gone better, really.
One of the best games you've ever played in?
Well, one of the best that we organised that worked. We'd organised, as I said, to get the ball to the backs, and it worked.
But could you ever imagine the fight back that Hull had in this game? Because it was quite remarkable, really, wasn't it?
Well, they have got a lot of good players as well. I thought when we scored all the points, maybe it could happen, and it did at the end. A lot of people have said at the end that another 5 minutes would have seen us lose, but who knows, we could have fought back as well. I know we wanted to win very badly.
And of all the 50 finals, do you think this year's would have been the best?
Well, I would, as you say, I think it's one of the best, if not the best. It was a great game to play in, and as I said before, everything worked for us. The backs got the ball and scored some good tries.
Now, Sid, you'd defend 1929, though, wouldn't you?
From my point of view, yes, because it was the first time that rugby had gone to London. We had to put on a good show. Unfortunately, we didn't put on our best show, but we did enough to win the game. And the forwards in those days had simply got to get the ball out of the pack, let the backs do the work with the ball. To this extent that the forwards, they got 10 shillings less than the backs in those days.
How would you have reacted, Graham, if you'd have got less money then?
Well, I think we've been told since I've been here that the forwards get you to Wembley and the backs win you the game. Well, I think that's really been the case with Wigan last year. The forwards really made a platform for the backs to work on, and in some of the games leading up, the forwards have done more work than the backs. But in the final, certainly the backs took it over and played excellently.
Yeah. Yes, it was a grand game. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, let's take this opportunity of reliving the big day of the 1985 Rugby League year, the Challenge Cup final at Wembley between Hull and Wigan.